Now, those close to William Ruto have told us that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is the chief financier of the opposition, of people like Edwin Sifuna, and everything that is anti-government right now, that is a thorn in the flesh of the current administration, is being financed by Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Now, people don't like this regime, but let's put our emotions aside for a minute and let us look at the facts on the ground. The former president has very actively revived the Jubilee Party. He has been deeply involved in that, okay? And obviously, there were finances involved. The former president has also been very deeply right bang in the middle of reviving the Azimio coalition with very serious consequences on the current regime, and the honeymoon with Raila's older brother, Oburu Odinga, and a section of ODM who have suddenly found that actually what they're leading is a shell of the ODM. The real followers of ODM are gone with a man called Edwin Sifuna, Babu Wino, and company. Okay? And so with that information, you should be sure that actually this Uhuru versus Ruto season 2 is very real. And it is unfolding right before our eyes in Kenyan politics. When you look at our politics through these lenses, many things which did not make sense will make perfect sense. Let me throw in a little more evidence for those who are still unconvinced. Do you think it is an accident that a character like Pauline Njoroge is very closely involved in the Sisi Nisifuna movement? Is that a coincidence? Answer that one. Now, in my opinion, the side which is going to win this season 2 of Uhuru versus Ruto is the side of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Why am I so sure? Let me put it in one sentence. Because the other side, the side Uhuru is up against, they do their things in a kienyeji way. Wanafanya vitu zao kienyeji. What do I mean? They make a decision and they act on it without taking a deeper look at it and analyzing the possible consequences and coming up with plans and ideas and strategies to deal with the possible consequences before they make the initial decision. And there are many examples. Very quickly, I'll give you several. You raise taxes kiolela olela. You raid the pockets of the people, totally ignoring the possible consequences going forward. Because after all, at some point you're going to seek re-election. You're going to seek a second term. That doesn't cross your mind while you make this initial decision. You just want money, okay? The other things you'll sort out later. A very instructive piece of evidence to suggest that what I'm saying is nothing but the truth. You remember the time when UDA leaders went to complain at State House to the president about how unpopular they were with the people. Remember what they were told? This is not a time to be popular. Meaning that a time to be popular would come later. Meaning that the assumption was later the people would forget the reasons why you're unpopular in the first place. How now? Another example. You impeach Rigathi Gachagua. Of course, he's a political nobody. Why didn't you take just a little time to look a little more deeply into the possible consequences? Starting with the character of Rigathi Gachagua. What has he been doing all his life? What was he doing for government? What kind of contacts does he have with the government? This is a dangerous man, and it was very obvious from the get-go. This is a man who would do real damage to the Ruto administration. And that is exactly what has happened. There was absolutely no need to impeach Rigathi Gachagua. After all, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta persevered a hostile deputy president for his entire second term for 5 years. You don't want to persevere. Well, now you'll have to deal with the consequences. Pure and simple. And the last example, whose consequences are still unfolding, bado tujaona kitu, is that you decide to introduce goons to deal with the opposition. And these goons you introduce into the equation, you give them police protection. What do you expect the consequences are going to be? Huh? I assure you that one can end only in one way. There are no two ways about it. And I'll use only one English word. Anarchy. That is where that one will end.